Hey all, welcome back to my channel. So in today's session, we are going to discuss about how we are going to enter or delete certain elements by using dynamic arrays. Okay, we have already discussed about what is dynamic arrays and what is the advantage of dynamic arrays compared to that of static arrays and all. Okay, if you didn't see that, I link that in the description box. You can go check it out there. And in today's video, we are going to discuss about how we are going to add, delete, or how we are going to check the size of the array by using dynamic array methods. Okay, I'm explaining it to you with an example so that it will be easily understood by you, and also it will be easily remembered. Like if you take these things with examples, it will be easily understood for you. So that is why let's not waste any more time. And if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing this channel and hit on the notification bell also. Also follow me on LinkedIn and other social media handles also. And also if you want any courseware regarding this, join me in my Telegram channel. I'll also link that in the description box, right? So now see this example here. Here you already know that when I am explaining about dynamic arrays, I have told you when you are defining a dynamic array, you should be giving it with an empty braces. Okay, because there is a by using these notations only you can discriminate the difference. Like you can discriminate which type of array it is, like whether it is a dynamic array or static array or associative array or queues. Okay, based on the notation itself, you will be discriminating which type of array it is. That is why this notation is really important. So this is my dynamic array. Okay, so I have given this array like array equal to new of 5. That means it can hold 5 elements. Clear? Yes. So I am assigning all the 5 elements in this array. So my 5 elements are 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Okay. Now when I want to print all the elements in array, okay, how can I do this? Like for each array of 5, you already know, I have already discussed about what is the difference between for and for each loop. Okay, when we go to the loops discussion, we will be explaining much more on that. But as for now, basically in order to display, or when you are seeing about arrays, when you are discussing about arrays, we will be more using this for each loop. Instead of for loop, we can just use for each loop for displaying arrays, or for like assigning values to the arrays, for all these things. Okay, for each array of I, right, I want to display what I want to display. I want to display array of percentage d equal to percentage d. That means along with the location index, along with the index, I also want to print the element. So that is why you are going to give it like this: array of percentage d equal to percentage d I comma array of I. Clear? Yes. So for this, I'll be displaying all, if you are writing it in this way, then you will be going to display all the elements along with the indexes. Clear? Yes. Now in order to know the size of the array, okay, so maybe, because why is this useful? Because at some point of time when you want to know what is the size of that particular array, you can just give this particular method, and you can just call this method. By using this, you can be knowing the size of the array. What is that? Array name. Okay, what is the array name here? Array. Okay, array dot size. Any method you are going to call, in the previous sessions also I have told you, you have to call the method by using dot and the name of that particular method. Okay, here array dot size. So when you have given this array of size, then what happens means that particular size will be given. Okay, right? So this is how the thing is here, right? And then coming to resizing of an array. Whenever you want to resize the array, that means I have sized it. If you see the size of my array, this is my size of the array is 5. Now I want to again resize it. That means again I want to add more elements, or I want to delete some more elements. So how can you do this? Array equal to new of 8. Okay, if you are only giving array equal to new of 8, then it is called resizing of array. But when you are giving new of 8 with the name of the array, okay, what is the name of the array? Array. Okay, that means along with new of it, if you are also adding the name, then that means it will be holding all the previous values, and then the remaining elements will be added to the previous values. So now what is happening here? New of 8 and array, that means the size is increased from 5 to 8, but all the 5 elements that are within this array will be in that place only. Clear? That means along with 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, you are adding 3 more elements. You are adding size for 3 more elements. That means you can assign 3 more elements to that. Okay, that is the meaning of this particular no thing here. Okay, array equal to new of 8 of array. Okay, now I will be displaying the size. Now if you want to display the size, again the same thing, array dot size. Now what is the size of the array? Before, the size of the array is 5. Now the size of the array is 8. Okay, and along with the size, I also want to display all the elements. Okay, so that is why I have given again for display the elements. Clear? Now I want to override the existing array. That means what is my present array, which is it is of 8 elements. Okay, but now I want to override, I want to change the entire array. Now what I am doing here, new of 6. This is what I told you before. If you are not giving the name of the array after the 6, then the entire array is overridden by this new elements. That means now what is the size of the array? The size of the array is 6, all empty elements. Okay, that means there is no element assigned to it, only the size is 6. Okay, that means now you can freshly assign the elements to it. Clear? And then I am displaying the size of the array. After overriding the size, I am displaying the size of the array. Now for each array of ply, along with the size, I also want to display the elements in that. Okay, okay, right? We'll be seeing what is this output will be. Now after that, I have given array of delete. That means I want to delete my entire array, right? And then after deleting my entire array, okay, if you are giving array dot delete, that means your entire array will be deleted. So after deleting also, I want to know the size of my array. Clear? Yes. Now let us see what is the output. If you see the first display element, what is the first display element here? That is in order to display all the elements in the array. So what are the elements? So these are the elements at first. So the first elements will be in this way. See, this is my starting. Yes. What are the elements? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then after this, what I have done? I want to know the size of the array. So what is my size of the array? Which is 5. Okay. Then I have resized my array. But in this, along with the resizing of my array, I have also given the old array name. So that is why the previous elements will not be erased, but they will be here itself. Like see 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. But the remaining elements, I have just created the memory locations, but I didn't assign any values. So that is why the default values will be 0. Now what is the size of the array after resizing? It is 8. Okay, clear? Yes, if you see here, I want to first know the size and then display the elements. Now what I have done, I have overridden the value from new of 8. From size 8 to I have reduced it to 6. Okay, and then I want to know the size of the array. So what is the size of the array now? I have overridden to 6, so the size of the array is 6. Okay, now I want to see what are the elements in those 6 indices. But if you see here, I didn't assign any elements to that particular array. Okay, I just want to display, I just want to know the size, and I have just want to display what is there in that elements, but I didn't assign any elements in that array. So that is why they are all zeros if you see here. Okay, clear? So array from array of 0 to 6. See, array from 0 to 6, all it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that means 6 elements. Okay, all the 6 elements are 0. Then what have you done? You have deleted the size. That means you have deleted the array. Sorry. After you deleting the array, what will be the size? Since you have deleted the array, the size will be obviously 0. Clear? This is how you will be using these methods in dynamic array. Okay, when you are using two arrays. Okay, let us see that example also. That means here what have I done? We have taken two arrays. Okay, array 1, array 2, ARR1, ARR2. Okay, so in at the initial time, at the starting, I have taken that ARR of 1 equal to, I have assigned three elements like 12, 23, 34. Okay, and then I want to display the size of the array. Now what is the size of the array here? From this only you can say that the size of the array is 3. That means it can hold 3 elements. Okay, and then within ARR2, what I am doing, whatever that is there in ARR1, I am copying it to ARR2. Now what will be there in ARR2? What is there in ARR1? That will be there in ARR2. So both ARR1 and ARR2 size is 3 now. Clear? Now here what I am doing means I am individually changing the values. ARR2 of 1. Okay, that means here if you see what is the size here, ARR of 0, 1, 2. Clear? So ARR2 of thing also the same thing like 12, 23, 34. But here in ARR2 I am changing the first index value. What is the first index value? That is 23. I am changing it to 67. Similarly I am changing the 0th index of ARR1, not ARR of 2 here. ARR of 1 is changed to 56. Okay, and then I am again printing these two things. So now let us see what will be the output before going to the next step. So here if you see size of the ARR1 is 3 obviously. Okay, after changing the values. That means here at first when you have changed the values, that means this is my first step, is it or not? So here ARR2 of 1 is 67. So if you see here ARR1 is 12, 23, 34, no change. In ARR2 the first index is changed from 23 to 67. So this is changed from 23 to 67. The remaining are in same way. Now in the second, at the second time what I have done, I have taken the ARR of 0 is 56. So what is there in 0th position? 12. It is changed to 56, but it is changed only in ARR1. ARR of 2 is not changed. So what it is holding the previous values, those only will be here also. Clear? So this is how you will be changing the values when you want to change a single index. Okay, when you want to override the entire array, you can do that by just giving a new keyword. Okay, clear? But when you want to change only a single element by using that particular index position, you can change it in this way. Okay, and then ARR of 2 equal to new of 6 of ARR2. You already know that. That means here I am overriding the ARR2 value size. That means already you know that ARR of 2 is 3 in size. So I am changing the 3 to 6. Okay, but I am retaining the old values. Now what happens? Now what will be the size if you see? See changing size. ARR of 2 is what are the previous values? 12, 67, 34. Along with this, the remaining three positions are also allocated. Allocation is done. But the assignment is I didn't do anything. And now what I'm doing, I want to override the entire array. Okay, I don't want to retain the values. How can you do that? By just giving ARR2 equal to new of 4. Now what happens? All the values will be given, but here if you see the size is 6 here. Now after changing the size, all the elements are overridden. That means there is no any previous values, but the entire thing is overridden here. But I have taken 4, so 4 zeros are given and the size of the array is 4 now. Clear? Yes. Now this is what it is happening. Now when you want to delete an array, you have already seen that in the previous example. Okay, ARR1 of delete. Okay, if you should see here, whatever name of the array that you are giving, only that is deleted. The next one won't be deleted. Okay, you must be clearly observing this, right? So ARR1 of delete equal to, we are going to delete the array 1. So after deleting I want to display whatever that is there in array 1 and as well as the size of that particular array 1 array. Okay, if you see here array 1, deleting array 1. So after deleting there are no elements because you have already deleted the array, so there is no memory allocation there. Since there is no memory allocation, so that is why the size is obviously 0. Clear? But when you, after deleting the first array also, if you are going to see the next array, okay, just give me a second. What you have done here, you have changed the value. Now if you see the size of the, see, array 2, okay, the array 1 is deleted and the size is 0, but the array 2 is not deleted. Whatever that is there in the previous thing, that is only continued, because you have only deleted the array 1. You didn't delete the array 2. Array 2 is just a copy of array 1. Even though it is a copy, it will be having its individual values, and it will be having its individual size. Until, if you want to delete array 2, you have to use the option like array 2 of delete. Until and unless you are not going to delete the array 2, it won't be deleted. Got my point? So this is the this is how you will be using the methods, various methods, like in order to know the size, in order to delete, in order to extend the memory size, or in order to override the elements. So all these things will be done in this way. Hope this example is helpful for you. Okay, so if you see the differences between static and dynamic array, so in static arrays the size of array is fixed. I have already told this many times. That means the size of the array is allocated. That means as soon as you are declaring the size of the array, it is allocated during the compile time itself. And after allocating the size of the array in static arrays, it can't be removed. Okay, unless, even though you are using the memory or not using the memory, but that memory is fixed to that particular array. But that is not happening in case of dynamic array, because in dynamic array the memory allocation is done during the simulation time but not during the compile time. Okay, so because of this there is a lot of wastage of memory in static array, because at that part, at the starting, when you are writing a program, you don't know how much memory is needed for this array, or how much. You just estimate it and you will just roughly give the number. Okay, but there is no compulsion that you will use the entire memory, or there may be some cases where you need lot more memory than you have given. But this dynamicity can't be approved in case of static array. That is why this may lead to lot of wastage of memory or lead to lack of memory. Okay, so that happens in static array. But in case of dynamic array, we can, the memory is allocated during the compilation, during the simulation time. That means after writing the code and after entering, the memory can be given at that particular point of time. Or we have many properties like for changing the size of the array, or for writing, overriding, or for keeping the old values. So we are having lot more options in this dynamic array. So that is why this is a lot more dynamic. It is having lot more uses in system verilog compared to that of static array. But in static array, one advantage is the compilation time is fast. It is faster as the memory is allocated during the compilation. That means the working is faster, because the memory is already allocated in the compilation time itself. So that is why, again, for the simulation is done very fastly. But in case of dynamic array, what is happening means the memory is itself is allocated during the simulation time. So the memory need to be allocated, and the running needs to be takes place. So that is why in dynamic array the simulation is slow compared to that of static array. Okay, and one more major difference is, in static arrays we can either use packed arrays or unpacked arrays. I have also given what is packed and unpacked arrays. Okay, you can, I'll link that in the description box. You can go there, check it out. Okay, packed and unpacked arrays is also very important concept in system verilog. Okay, you will get at least one interview question on packed and unpacked arrays, which is because this is very tricky. Okay, packed and unpacked, even though you are very familiar with system verilog also, there are some topics in system verilog which needs to be revised every time you go through the system verilog. These, there are some concepts which needs to be revised every time. So one of those types of concepts is this packed and unpacked arrays. Okay, I have also given some tip like how to know the difference, like how to know the difference between the notation on packed arrays and unpacked arrays. Okay, so I link that in the description box. You can go check it out. Check the full length video in order to know that tips, in order to know what is a packed array, how to differentiate between packed array and unpacked array. Okay, so in static array we can use both packed and unpacked arrays, but in case of dynamic array we can use only unpacked arrays, right? So I also discussed like why we will only use unpacked arrays in the dynamic array itself. Okay, I have given that in the description box. As I told you, I'll be linking both what is packed arrays and what is dynamic arrays and all. I'll give the complete description about the links of this in the description box. You can go check there. Okay, so this is about the static and dynamic arrays. So in the next session we will be talking about associative arrays, which is also very important in case of arrays. Okay, so basically arrays are categorized into static and dynamic. Again, in dynamic we are having lot more varieties. Like in dynamic arrays we'll be having dynamic arrays, associative arrays and queues, right? We'll be talking about this associative arrays. Why do we need associative arrays even though we are having dynamic arrays? Okay, what is the need of associative arrays and what is the need of queues, right? Even though we are having dynamic, what is the disadvantages with dynamic array? Why do we have come for this associative array and all? We will be seeing all this in the next session. Okay, so don't miss out that session, right? If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing to this channel and hit on the notification bell. Thank you all.